What's up, y'all? Chris here to talk a little Floyd Mayweather versus Miguel Cotto. I say a little because I don't have a lot to say about this fight. In all honesty, not a whole lot. Just because I don't have a lot of interest in it. I'm sure, like myself, y'all will be watching this fight, checking it out. I don't know what your guys' level of interest is. Let me know. But as far as the matchup, it's not necessarily a bad matchup. It's just one that I wish we could have seen a couple years ago when Miguel Cotto was in his physical prime, before he took those losses to Antonio Margarito and Manny Pacquiao, which I believe took something out of him both physically and psychologically. Those were some pretty bad beatings, and I definitely think those took a little something out of Miguel Cotto inside the ring those nights respectively. As for this fight, you know what? Cut to the chase. I really just don't envision any way in that Miguel Cotto wins this fight. He's a good boxer. He's got a good hook to the body. He's got decent power. But how does he win this fight? He's not going to outbox Mayweather on the inside. He's not going to outbox him on the outside. He's obviously not faster. I don't see any way that he's going to hurt Floyd Mayweather. I don't even know how competitive it'll be, in all honesty. And that's no disrespect to Miguel Cotto. He's a good fighter. He's just not as good of a fighter as Floyd Mayweather is, particularly at this stage of their careers. Floyd looked like Floyd in his fight against Victor Ortiz for the most part. Cotto looked pretty solid in his last outing, getting revenge over Antonio Margarito. Obviously, it wasn't the war that the first fight was. Miguel Cotto fought a smarter fight and was able to, bust up Margarito's eye and get the win, the stoppage. But that doesn't really make a difference going into this matchup. Two different styles as Margarito and Mayweather. To put it lightly, I guess you would say. HBO 24/7, as far as build-up for this fight, tried watching it, couldn't really get with it. With Floyd, it's the same thing over and over at this point. Nothing new. It's basically, to me, Floyd's segments on HBO 24/7 is like watching a rap video without the music. Not that they don't play music, but you get what I'm saying. And Miguel Cotto, not really learned anything new outside of, him working with his trainer, his Cuban trainer. Just not a whole lot to gain from 24/7 at this point. I've said in the past in videos that HBO 24/7 usually equates to a one-sided fight. And it's pretty much played out that way, except for the third fight between Manny Pacquiao and Juan Marquez. That was definitely an exception to the rule. So I won't be surprised if this is a one-sided fight. And obviously, from what I've already said previously, that's going to favor Floyd Mayweather. I guess my only intrigue in this fight is whether or not Floyd goes for the stoppage. I think he should control just about every round. But I don't know. Floyd's not really a guy that goes for the kill necessarily when he has guys beat down or he's in full control. Look at the Shane Mosley fight for a perfect example. He did with Ortiz, but circumstances surrounding the stoppage of that fight were quite unique to say the least. And we've seen Cotto, I'd say, I guess in the Manny Pacquiao fight, kind of go into survival mode. Really stopped engaging in the latter half of that fight. Was looking to make it the distance. So he might do that here as well. Hard to say. But yeah, I see Mayweather winning this fight. Clearly, I think it'll go to a decision. I don't think he's going to go for the kill against Miguel Cotto. I think it'll just look cruise in the latter half. I honestly don't see Miguel Cotto winning more than 3 rounds, if that. I think it's a pretty clear-cut decision for Floyd. And, then after that, who knows what's next. It ain't going to be Manny Pacquiao, that's for damn sure. So don't get your hopes up for that, if you have, at any time, because it's never going to happen, in my opinion. As for the undercard fight, Shane Mosley, Saul Canelo Alvarez, another clear-cut, one to call in my mind. Got to go with Canelo. Shane's clearly, his best days are behind him. The losses to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather showed he really doesn't have a lot left. Sure, he hurt Floyd in the second round of their fight, but after that, he pretty much just stopped fighting. Same with Pacquiao, got knocked down. After that, survival mode, had nothing to offer. Hopefully this fight's a little bit more competitive than those were. I think it will be, because Canelo is obviously not yet the fighter, nor do I think he'll ever be necessarily, that Mayweather and Pacquiao are. So I don't think it'll be as one-sided as those fights were. So Mosley may, be willing to take a few more risks in this bout. And Mosley, for the most part, always matches up well against Mexican fighters. Usually are pretty entertaining fights. I think Canelo brings a style that Mosley can provide an entertaining fight for if he decides to. But if he just wants to come to get a paycheck, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be boring. Although I've yet to see Canelo in too many boring. Well, I've seen Canelo in some boring fights. I'm thinking of the Indu fight. But the one thing that is interesting about this matchup to me, though, is Shane Mosley left Golden Boy Promotions to fight Manny Pacquiao. Oscar was pissed. He complained about it on Twitter and elsewhere. Now Shane Mosley's back in the fold, obviously, because he's fighting a Golden Boy fighter in Canelo. The only thing I can take out of it is maybe Oscar said, I'll bring you back in because I know my boy Canelo's going to beat you, and it's going to be money for my company, and Canelo's going to be a good name to add to his resume. Because if Oscar and Golden Boy Promotions didn't think that Canelo could win this fight, they wouldn't make it. So definitely see Canelo winning, likely by decision, because either Shane isn't going to get knocked out, or he's just going to go into cruise control at the end. Or not even cruise control, just, like I said, survival mode, which I don't want to see, but if it happens, I won't be surprised, because I've seen it in a couple of Shane fights recently. Anyways, one of you guys' thoughts on the fights, I should say. What's your level of interest? Do you think Cotto has any chance? Will you be ordering the fight? How many rounds do you think Cotto can win? And just any other thoughts in general? HBO 24/7, the hype for this fight, the build-up, doesn't have the big buzz on it that most big fights do. I don't know. It's the beginning of the week. It may build as the week goes by. And I guess I want to hear your thoughts on Canelo versus Shane. If you're giving Shane a chance, let me know why. I know Shane still has fans out there. I know some think that he's going to win this fight. Canelo is obviously still a flawed fighter. He's still got a lot of defensive deficiencies. He's far from a fully polished fighter, but he's only 21 years old. So one of your guys' thoughts on that fight, that matchup, how do you see it breaking down? And any other general thoughts? Talked about this fight a little bit on Science of Violence radio show yesterday. Link in the first part of the video if you didn't get to check it out live. You can always check it out on podcast on demand. As well as link to ScienceViolence.com, Science Violence on Facebook, me on Twitter, and all that other good stuff. Anyways, that's it for now, guys. Till next time, maybe Sunday, I'll give a post-fight thoughts on this fight. We'll see. But until then, I'm out.